Welcome back to Proud to Watch. I'm there for my WWE Extreme Rules 2021 review here for you guys today. Let's just get right into it. It was a real interesting show. So yeah, we might as well just carefully reviewing it. So yeah, let's do it. So yeah, the show started off with the New Day versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles and Omos. It was a real good match in my opinion. It got us started well, and yeah, it was quite unpredictable as the match went on. It was quite enjoyable in my opinion. So yes, Big E ended up pinning Bobby Lashley to get the win. So yeah, it's a good match overall. I enjoyed it. So yeah, New Day with a big win there. After we got the Usos defending their tag team titles against the Street Profits, and it was for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It was a solid match. It was a solid match. We just saw simply a clean match between these two teams with no distractions, and these two teams just beat the hell out of each other. We just saw some fantastic moves and everything in this match. It was just absolutely fantastic to watch. So yeah, I personally really enjoyed it. The Usos ended up retaining clean, which is good to see. Yeah, we finally see a proper clean win by the Usos against the Street Profits. So yeah, good match. The Usos retain. And then we saw Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. Charlotte Flair did end up retaining after a pretty decent match, but after the match, Charlotte Flair actually went on and actually beat up Alexa Bliss's doll Lily and kind of hopefully put an end to her. I don't think she has though, to be honest with you. I don't think she's put an end to it, and yeah, Lily's gonna make a magical comeback, unfortunately. So yeah. But yeah, we'll just have to see what happens there. And yeah, massive from what Charlotte Flair did to Lily, and I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen with that. After we saw a triple threat match for the United States Championship, it was Damian Priest versus Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. It was a solid match, in my opinion. Really enjoyed it. Damian Priest ended up, getting a big win by a roll-up, rolling up Sheamus. And then after the match, we saw respect between Damian Priest and Jeff Hardy. But yeah, we saw some fantastic stuff in this match. Overall, these three just beat each other up, jumping all over the place, right onto each other. It's just absolutely fantastic, really, to be honest with you. And yeah, Damian Priest ended up retaining the title on his birthday as well, so fair play to him, a big win there. And then after we did, of course, get Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This match blew the roof off the place, really. It was an absolutely fantastic match. It's brilliant to see these two in a good televised match as well. So yeah, I personally really enjoyed it. It was a very good match, in my opinion, this. And yeah, it was very good. These two just beat the hell out of each other. Becky Lynch was going for the arm bars a lot on Bianca Belair. It's just a brilliant match to watch overall. I was really entertained by every single second of this match. It was very, very, very good. But how this match ended is we did, of course, it was quite a 50-50 match as well. Then we got Bianca Belair ready to get Becky Lynch in the KOD, and then eventually see Sasha Banks come running out, and then she pushed Bianca Belair, and then the match ended like in a disqualification. Bianca Belair won by disqualification, but of course Becky Lynch did end up having to retain the title. So yeah, Sasha Banks is back, and down the line we are of course going to see a big triple threat match between these three. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, this was a fantastic match. And then we did, of course, get our main event. It was Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor for the Universal title. And yeah, I think this is the match which kind of causes the controversy around the pay-per-view. These two just at the start beat each other up real bad. It was a real good match, to be honest with you, to really get us started. Yeah, these two guys just beat the absolute hell out of each other. It was just great to watch, really, to be honest with you. It was absolutely great to watch. Finn Balor with the 4 kendo sticks and smashing Roman Reigns with them. It was absolutely fantastic to see, really. So it was very good. He just beat the hell out of Roman Reigns. It was absolutely fantastic at the start. Eventually, these two went wrestling into the crowd and everything like that, which was also very good to see. Yeah, it was just a very good match to watch, really, this match, to be honest with you. So yeah, very, very, very enjoyable, of course, at the start of this match where these two just fully went at it, fully just pelting each other, beating the absolute hell out of each other, really. It was, of course, really good to see. And yeah, we just saw a great match, really. And then eventually, how it did come to an end, the Usos got involved, beating up Finn Balor. And then eventually, what happened here is we did, of course, see we did of course see Finn Balor turn it around and then beat up both the Usos, and then Roman Reigns came and speared Finn Balor through the barricade, and then they were both down, and Finn Balor started flapping very weirdly on the floor, and then got Roman Reigns back, and then, the lights came on and stuff, then got Roman Reigns back into the ring, and then got ready for the coup de grace, and then the ropes broke and stuff like that. It was just a ridiculous ending to a pay-per-view, really. Then Roman Reigns ended up hitting the spear, and then Roman Reigns did, of course, retain the title. But yeah, it's kind of 100% really ridiculous ending to a pay-per-view, in my opinion. A real ridiculous ending to a pay-per-view overall, to be honest with you. So, it was a weird one. We have to say it was a very weird one overall, to be honest. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. And we did, of course, see Roman Reigns retain his title. But yeah, it's a real controversial one, really. Not much fans are really happy with how this one ended, to be honest with you. There's a lot of controversy around this one, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't really want to rant too bad. I mean, I found it really strange, but I've kind of found it quite cool at the start, and then looking back at it, it's just completely ridiculous, though, really, isn't it? With what happened, really. Let's just be completely honest with each other. It was kind of ridiculous with what happened in the match overall, but it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. But it was real interesting, to be honest. It was real interesting. But yeah, we did end up seeing some real interesting stuff going on here. I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what, of course, goes on with Alexa Bliss and Lily, really, though, isn't it? That's going to be really interesting to see what happens with them. I mean, Lily, it's kind of just ridiculous with her, though, isn't it? Let's just be completely and utter honest. It's kind of ridiculous with this whole stupid Lily storyline and stuff like that. So, yeah, but it's going to be real interesting to see what happens with Alexa, to be honest with you. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that. Is this over? Is this Alexa Bliss finally coming to an end? Because she's been like this for like over a year now, and I kind of think it is winding quite a few people up at this moment in time. It's winding a lot of people up watching this stupid storyline, really. But yeah, I think there's still a bit of unfinished business, unfortunately, between these two. I think there is some unfinished business overall, to be honest. I think there is some unfinished business, and at the point they probably will end up, of course, will end up rematching, of course. I mean, there's been rumored that we're going to see a dark side to Alexa Bliss now, but yeah, that's really interesting overall, to be honest with you. I think that's a big takeaway. Sasha Banks is back. I think that's a decent takeaway to take away as well, to be honest with you. She's back, and we could, of course, be seeing a massive triple threat match, which would, of course, be really exciting, to be honest with you. It's just a matter of when we will see it. To be honest with you, because I don't know, will they do it at the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view? I don't know. They might not. We'll just have to see with that one, really, though, won't we? We'll have to see with that. That will be a real interesting one, to be honest with you. To see what happens there overall, to be honest with you. As well, I think another thing which is really interesting is just seeing where we go with, of course, what happens with Big E's title reign. Of course, he's going to be fighting Bobby Lashley, and that's going to be really interesting to see where his reign goes. But I think the main takeaway is probably if it's the end of the pay-per-view, where Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor. I don't know, is the Demon's ruin, really? Is the Demon Finn Balor kind of ruined after all that, to be honest with you? But yeah, lots of questions around the main event, really. But Roman Reigns retained the title, and he's of course going to be fighting. He's of course going to be fighting Brock Lesnar. He's going to be fighting Brock Lesnar in Saudi Arabia, which will be interesting. But yeah. Real controversy at the end with Finn Balor, and quite a disappointing ending to a pay-per-view. And it's kind of funny as well, disappointing funny ending to a pay-per-view. But yeah, what what was my match of the night? I'm going to say Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair was my match of the night, even though it did end in a no contest, really. And then we, of course, what is my show rating? I'm going to have to give it a 7 out of 10, just simply because it gets a 7 out of 10 because we saw a DQ, but that's for reasons. We saw a surprise roll up, which we didn't need to see, and the ending was kind of horrific, really. We didn't really need to. It was so confusing where Finn Balor just started flapping around like a fish, and then it was a real confusing ending to a pay-per-view, let's be honest. And then, it was weird. It was weird. It was weird, that's to be honest with you. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, look, that's my thoughts on the pay-per-view. So I'm gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching this video of course, Forever Talk Wrestling. I'll speak to you soon. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, Forever Talk Wrestling. I'll speak to you soon. Anyway, thanks for watching.